Day 1, Chapter 1. I stopped screaming a few seconds before the alarm went off. The loud buzz startled me and I fell out of bed. I landed hard on the wood floor. My head hit the floor and bounced once or twice. I actually saw stars, just like in the cartoons. I tried to blink away the pain that throbbed through my head and tried to make the room stop spinning. Before I could pull myself up, Mom walked into my room. "Artie, what are you doing down on the floor?" "I can't believe it," I muttered. "How could I fall out of my bed 2 mornings in a row?" My mom stared hard at me. "And I hit my head again," I said. She walked over and helped pull me to my feet. "You're just nervous about your first day of school," she said. "Huh?" I tugged down my pajama shirt and squinted at her. "First day? Did you forget yesterday?" "What was yesterday?" Mom asked. "Sunday. What about Sunday?" "Yesterday was the first day of school," I insisted. She rubbed my hair. "Artie, I think you hit your head really hard. You know that today is the first day of school." She picked up a pile of dirty clothes I'd tossed on the floor. "Now hurry up and get dressed. Your brother's already downstairs. I'm making waffles." I watched her carry the clothes out of my room. "We had waffles yesterday morning," I said to myself. I reached up and felt the side of my hair. Not sticky. I'd stood there without moving for a long moment, trying to get my thoughts together. So, my first day at Aardvark Middle School had all been a dream? A nightmare because I was stressed about starting a new school. It had all seemed so real, so painfully real. But today was the actual first day of school. How did that make me feel? Awesome! That had been the worst, most frightening, most horrifying day of my life, and it hadn't happened. None of it was real. Yay! I let out a happy cheer. I did a crazy dance around my room. I was getting a fresh start, a whole new beginning to my school year. What to wear on the first day? I'd spent hours thinking about it, but I just couldn't decide. 2 days before, I spread all my t-shirts out on the bed. Which was the coolest? None of them. I definitely needed new t-shirts. Finally, I picked the black t-shirt that just said t-shirt across the front. It was pretty funny, I thought. I pulled it down over my jeans. I picked up my phone. The little battery up in the corner was blinking. No power. But didn't I just power it up yesterday? I guess I was still mixed up because of that very real dream. Oh well, plenty of time to power it up while I was having breakfast. I found the charger, stuck it into the phone. Then I jammed the plug into the outlet near my floor. And zap! Electricity jolted through my body. I did a wild dance around my room, my arms thrashed in the air, out of control. Didn't the same thing happen in my dream? I could still feel the current rushing through me as I hurried down to the kitchen for breakfast. Dad had already left for work. Mom was pouring herself a cup of coffee. Wowzer was at his usual place beneath the table. He spent his whole life waiting for someone to drop some food on the floor. My 5-year-old brother, Eddie, was already at the table, digging his fork deep into a stack of syrup-covered toaster waffles. "Morning, Piggy," I said. He burped in reply. Eddie has one major talent. He can burp whenever he wants to, and his burps are totally wet and disgusting. "Waffles again?" I said to Mom. She squinted at me as she took a sip of her coffee mug. "Again? What do you mean? Didn't we have them yesterday?" Eddie laughed. "We had cereal, remember? I spilled my milk." "We haven't had toaster waffles in weeks," Mom said. "Oh, right," I replied. I sat down across from Eddie. He swung his hand and knocked over his orange juice glass. A river of juice came washing over to my side. I jumped up. I'd almost gotten orange juice stains on my jeans. Eddie laughed. Then he burped again. I rolled my eyes. "You are so not funny." Mom wiped up the orange juice. "Artie, don't forget your dentist appointment after school," she said. "Bring your cell phone. Take the bus to the dentist and call me when you get here." The toaster at the end of the table popped. I grabbed 2 waffles and dropped them onto my plate. They burned my fingers, but they smelled so good. I reached for the syrup bottle. Eddie reached for it at the same time. "More syrup," he grunted. He squeezed the bottle. Thick brown syrup sprayed up from the bottle. "Oh no!" I uttered a cry. I tried to duck away, but a thick glob of syrup landed in my hair. This can't be happening, I shrieked. I jumped away from the table. Too late. I felt the sweet, sticky goo sliding down the side of my head, and I felt it trickle onto the shoulder of my t-shirt. I reached my hand up and slid it along my hair. Now my hand was sticky and wet too. Mom, I cried. Help me! You've got to help me! Artie, calm down, she said quietly. It's only syrup. No, you don't understand, I stammered. My dream, the horrible nightmare I had about my first day of school. I think it's coming true. Chapter 2. No time to wash my hair. I wanted to stay home. Just skip school. How could I go to a new school with my fat curly hair standing up on one side and glued flat to my head on the other? No way. But Mom said there was no way I was missing the first day because of a little sticky hair. So I pulled a baseball cap down low on my head, picked up my backpack, took Eddie's hand, and started to take him to his school. It had rained the night before. Big pools of water and deep puddles marked the street and sidewalks. As always, Eddie had to jump like a chimpanzee from puddle to puddle. He splashed up tall waves all around him and got himself soaked. But he didn't care. He thought it was funny. I think he's very immature for a 5-year-old. And I'm not saying that just because he's my brother. I'm saying it because he's a total pain in the butt. I tried to stay as far away from him as I could, but Mom's rule was that I had to hold his hand when we were across the street. We walked the 3 blocks to his school. He was jumping and splashing and hee-hawing and having a great time. I hope no one from my school walked by and saw me with him. That would be totally embarrassing. I could see the big sign across the street. Cyrus Elementary, home of the Fighting Bumblebees. We stepped up to the corner. I looked up and down the street to make sure no cars were coming. Then I remembered the truck in my dream, the gasoline truck that came roaring by and splashed rainwater in an embarrassing place on my jeans. Sure, it was a dream, but I had to play it safe. I couldn't let that happen again. Let's step back, I told Eddie. I started to pull him away from the corner, but Eddie stuck his pointer finger out and jabbed it into my stomach. I'm a bumblebee, he said. Bzz, bzz, I'm a bumblebee. He jabbed his finger into my stomach again. I sting you. I'm a bumblebee. He tried to sting me again. I jumped to the side, just as a long silver gasoline truck came racing past. The big tires rolled through a deep puddle and sent a tall wave of rainwater over the sidewalk. I felt a splash of cold on the front of my jeans. I didn't have to look down. I knew exactly what had happened. Eddie started prancing around. He tossed his head back and let out a crazy wild laugh. He pointed at the front of my jeans and shouted, "You look like you peed!"